Hey guys, I just want to make a video to let you all know where I've been and how I've been. To say the least, I've been doing bad. I feel lost and aimless right now. I was working on an essay-ish video that lightly delved into politics, another one involving a game I play. I had some Let's Plays being edited, then recently a larger YouTuber named Dannerade made a video on PvZ with some real garbage in there that I feel the need to make a video of my own in response to some things in there. I wanted to open up to my mom and dad that I was trans. My brother has known for a while and is accepting of it, but all of that probably won't be happening for a while because of what's happened in my life recently. This is going to be a really bummer story, so feel free to save yourself from having a bad day. On December 14th, my dog passed away at the age of 7. We'll get more into it later, but let me just tell you all about her first, and then we can work our way to that day. So as a kid, I used to be terrified of dogs. I had a traumatic experience where a dog broke free from its owner's leash and chased me around the front yard of the house and knocked me down. It was a really big dog. But later on in my life, I was greeted by one of my cousin's dogs that changed my whole perspective and made me garner a love for them. And by then, I wanted a dog badly. I discovered corgis from a video called Dogs Who Fail at Being Dogs and knew I wanted one. While not exactly a corgi, we found a mixed breed of a mini Australian Shepherd mixed with a corgi, known as Augies. I picked out a puppy named Layla that we would rename to Ein, and she came all the way from Mississippi. She was flown here and I remember that day well. My dad and I arrived at the airport and there was some snobby bitch that said we had to come back in a couple hours until they unloaded cargo. We did come back after eating some dinner, and the airport was completely empty. We felt cheated. Thankfully, we were able to call in help, and hearing the employees talk about bringing out a puppy made my body feel cold. Like I couldn't believe this was actually happening. It felt so unreal. Then the receptionist lady took her out. This beautiful little dog was scared and whimpering. We took her home. She rested by me while in her carrier, and when we got home, we let her out. She was so scared, but the first thing she did in our home when she got out of her carrier was stick her head into a slipper. When we fed her right after, she'd grab a bit of her food and take it back into her carrier. But finally she opened up to us, and she was so happy. She would run back and forth, hearing her paws pitter-patter, pitter-patter. 7 years of raising her. She was so adorable. Wonderful thing she'd do is on walks with more people, she would turn back to make sure everyone was there. She wouldn't go upstairs to bed until everyone was upstairs. Sometimes she'd walk into my room to lay down when it was just me and her in the house. When she was younger, when we were doing laundry, she'd sneak her way into the laundry room and try to steal a sock. She thought she was being sneaky, but we watched her just go on her way dragging it behind her. My mom would sometimes accidentally call her by my name because she reminded my mom too much of me as a kid. Ein was energetic. I chose the perfect dog. She was like me and brought the family together. However, last month and so of this year, we started to notice she was getting fatter, and it got to the point we finally noticed it wasn't fat, but her body was getting bloated. We took her to the vet, and the vet did an x-ray scan and saw it was something in her ovaries. The doctor recommended she got exploratory surgery, and so we scheduled it in a week. That week came. The day before surgery, we made sure she had a good day. We let her play with her favorite toys, gave her a walk as a family, and then came the day for surgery. It was a very unnerving morning. We had to get up and bring her at 8 in the morning. Ein was registered under me, so I filled out the paper for her surgery and I planned to pay for it too. We left her and my brother and I said our goodbyes to her. She was in her carrier that she had since she was a puppy, shaking scared. We were scheduled to pick her up at 4:40 in the afternoon. I felt nervous. I was worried so much about her, having to leave her like that, but I had hoped in me that everything would be just fine, until my brother got a call. What they had suspected to just be liquid or an infection in her ovaries was significantly worse than any of us had thought. She had cancer in her ovaries that extended to her abdomen and stomach, all connected together. She was also bleeding internally too, and at this rate she would only have 1 week left to live. Trying to fight the cancer would be fruitless because it developed so much that she'd need blood transfusions, which would only give her an extra week and could put her through seizures given the doctor's own experience with a former dog of hers. My heart felt so empty. I've had trouble crying and mourning for family members in passing before. I cared and loved them, but I just couldn't cry and it made me feel like I wasn't human. I spoke about this before in a Minecraft video about an uncle who passed, but hearing all of this made me collapse and break down. At this point, I was now on the phone with them while my brother paced around the house crying and breaking down. The doctor suggested euthanasia. I asked if we could see her and she said yes, but she would need to be euthanized first because of the surgery. My brother called mom and dad. They both got home after another and we cried together about the whole thing. Dad had to leave work early and skip the Christmas lunch he set up. The whole thing was made worse because of everything we had going up till then. My brother had been stuck with a lot of college work in the last week up to graduation, and he wanted to spend a lot of time with Ayn after he graduated to make up for all the time he had to ignore her. My dad planned to retire soon, and that would have given him a lot of time to take care of her. I bought a Christmas gift for her that I was looking forward to opening with her and playing together. I called the animal hospital back and asked if we could see her awake. They said she's already passed. My brother and dad didn't want to see her knowing how she was, but we all went. They took us to a room and had us wait a bit so they could bring her in. We could all see across the hallway, doors opening and seeing them wheeling a table with blankets piled on it. At this point, I felt my soul leave my body. Everything I heard was breaking me, but seeing it in person, I thought I was about to break down, that I was about to have a panic attack and scream. We all gave our goodbyes, but I spent the most time in there with her as everyone else left the room, one after the other, letting everything I could out. I gave Ayn's Christmas gift to the hospital as a donation and paid the bill for her surgery. $900 gone, and another $300 to get her cremation. Before I left, I went back into the room just to make sure I had everything left to say. One last kiss and a hug. When I was about to leave the room, I sat at the door entrance and I could hear a conversation with one of the receptionists talking to a client about the client's puppy, admiring how cute it was. When I walked out the door, I saw the puppy. It was so beautiful and it was just another huge punch to me. I just had a breakdown in front of everyone as Mom helped me leave, trying to reassure me we were going to get through this. The rest of the day was quiet. I tried to distract myself, but every time I thought of her, I'd start to tear and sob. I had a pillow of Vine imprinted on it that I was gifted by my family on one of my birthdays. It was always with me in my bed. My brother kept crying. I tried multiple times to go downstairs to look for her to see how she was doing, just to find nothing. No one ate dinner. Saturday was my brother's graduation ceremony, and it was still very gloomy. My brother was still crying. At this point, I was capable of holding back tears for the most part. My brother told me that on the night Ayn passed, he prayed to God for a sign that Ayn was in heaven, and he could feel a hand on his back that made him feel warm and soothed. Though just everything that has gone on still soured the mood when brought up. My mom wanted to get a new dog right now, and that upset me greatly for obvious reasons. The very idea felt like we were just going to replace Ayn. I wanted to get conditioned to living without a pet so that I could know what it was like to live without one again. I didn't want to go through the pain again that would inevitably happen. Skipping to Monday, my dad told me and my brother that both him and Mom made the decision we were getting a new dog. I was upset, but he explained it well, though still annoyed. He thought it through himself that it felt like he was betraying Ayn, but realized that this is a new dog, and those memories aren't and will never be forgotten. He told us the details of this dog they had found. She was a corgi puppy. Her name is Goldie, and the price of her was $700, just like Ayn. Hearing those made me tear up, seeing the photos too and the name. My dad's sister had a dog named Goldie that passed years ago when I was a kid. This corgi puppy looked just like Ayn as a puppy, aside from the different fur coloring, of course. It felt like fate in a way. There were so many similarities and dots connecting that I started to look forward to getting this dog. We were going to get to meet Goldie on Wednesday. There were still good reasons, even if I was against it initially, to get this puppy. My father is going to retire soon, and having a dog would let him get up and do things, get active. My brother graduating college can take care of this dog too. My mom isn't really capable of taking care of a dog. She is very handicapped and this week has been experiencing horrendous pain in her legs. Being at work on Monday and Tuesday hurt. I have too much time in those moments to think, and all I could think about was everything that has transpired in a week. How it went from one good day to an unnerving but optimistic day to immediately everything going downhill in a flash. On Tuesday, I managed to negotiate with HR to let me get off work early to meet this new puppy on Wednesday. I wanted to take the day off but couldn't, so yeah, that's everything that's happened to me recently and why I haven't uploaded any videos, and probably won't be for the rest of the year. I'll still probably be editing videos occasionally and getting them ready, but I just need a break from everything. Maybe I'll do a live stream within the remainder of this month since there's some things I really do want to stream. Safe to say, I won't be having a Merry Christmas this year. I lost a lot of money from all of this. The surgery, the appointment before to schedule the surgery, Christmas gifts, I lost my dog. But don't let my misery ruin your holiday. I want you all to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Who knows, maybe Goldie will give me a lot of joy. Until then, I will see you in the next year. Bye bye.